I'm trying to get better lighting situation and a graphic background and we're
You,
trying to make things happening.
I
Yeah.
need to get you my light kit that's sitting in the corner as part of my D-stash that we're going to
Yes,
do.
but why do you need a light kit when you have this very fancy $3 contraption?
Yes,
Yeah, okay, maybe I need a
I
light
know.
kit. Yeah, maybe.
Oh, hang on. My,
What'd you do?
I accidentally did the two things. Okay, let's see. We have a question immediately. Hi, hoping someone can help. I have a brother computerized machine and I can't figure out how to backstitch. The lost six works just fine. The book doesn't say. And AB's here. Um, Typically there's like a little U,
It's like a little
and
U-turn button. It
it is.
literally looks like the U-turn sign on the road.
Yes, and then when you hold that down, it goes backwards,
But
typically.
sometimes there's a lever and it might not say anything, but on the, I don't know what you would call it, the column of your sewing machine, there should either be a button or some type of lever that you push down.
Yes,
Or
the
maybe
thing.
it's just too fancy. My machine has a thing, like my Bernina has a thing where you can rock back with your foot pedal and it'll
That's
like
wild.
do, you can like program it to do random things.
Crazy, crazy.
I'm like, can I program it to make me lunch? That'd be nice. Backstitch, I need some chicken.
That works. That
It's
works.
expensive enough to do it.
All right. Hello, all. We decided we were going to start with real, actual quilting content as opposed to us being silly, which is how
Hold
this
on.
normally
I'm
goes.
trying to make this not do the audio in both places.
Oh,
And you know what I'm doing that's wrong? I had the entire, I had my stereo system working in the room so I could
yeah.
listen to cool tunes. So your entire voice was being broadcasted in my room.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Well,
not
that would
what we
be,
want for
I
this.
can't hear it in dual audio,
Oh,
but
good. Good, 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 good. Okay, let's keep going. Sorry about that.
okay. So Chantel and I we're not allowed to share this. We were thought about doing this last time we were live, but we weren't allowed to share the fabric yet because it went live today.
As of
Um,
today.
as of today, so we got to see it first because we're
Some of
industry
it's
pro
been out,
we're
but
we're
some
industry
of it is
professionals.
brand new.
Yes. So Chantel and I are teaching on a Mediterranean quilting cruise. And I should be a good YouTuber and I should pop that link
You probably should, yeah.
into the channel. So just brief interlude here. We are going October 10th through I think it's the 20th to the Mediterranean. We have stops in, where are we at?
We're in Barcelona, Malta.
Barcelona, Malta, yes, Sicily, Naples, Rome, Pisa, Nice, France, and then back to Barcelona. And we're going to do a pre-cruise tour in Barcelona. We're going to do like a tile experience. It's going to be a fun thing. But I
Yeah.
just popped the link into the YouTube chat box. I'm going to go ahead and pin that as well. So that way it stays at the top of the messages that go through. So you can check that out. If there's it's to an interactive PDF. You can fill it out to get more information. It doesn't obligate you to anything. It just says, I want more info. But it's got pricing on there and like where we're going and all the things.
Right.
But
Nobody's
Shen,
gonna pester you to,
no,
if you just want some more information about pricing, we're really not the people to ask. You need to
no,
ask
we're not. We
Travels
we
because
they handle all the logistics and they're fabulous at it. We handle the onboard quilting
experience.
experience, and
Yeah.
then you get to eat dinner with us and see us around the ship. And we
Yeah.
are probably more entertaining in person because like
Because we're together,
we don't
number
really,
one. We
yeah,
don't
we
get to
don't
be
have an
together
off
that much.
filter, and yeah, it's a
We
good
don't
time.
have children upstairs.
That
And
is also helpful.
I would say the other thing is that we're just as giddy as you to be on a vacation,
Oh
right?
yeah, for
Like
sure.
maybe we're working, but like, come
Like,
on, living your daydreams.
so for example, the guys, they always give you a bottle of wine or Prosecco or something that when you get to your stateroom, it's just sitting there waiting for you. And I'm putting away my clothes, waiting for my meeting because on the first day they always have a meeting where they answer all your questions about how the ship works, make sure you're
It's
on the
for
ship
everybody. Yeah,
Wi-Fi. Yeah, it's for everybody. Well, everybody that's part of our group.
right.
Um, and so they answer all your questions, and I'm sitting there and I'm just pouring myself a little glass, and it's a little champagne glass, but I kept refilling it.
Here's a little
And all of
bit.
a sudden, Stephanie's drinking an entire bottle of Prosecco before she goes to the meeting with the quilters and is in a very good mood when I arrive. Very, very good mood. So, it's it doesn't count. It's like you go to Vegas, it doesn't count. But anyway, so
Right,
we're picking our fabrics because we were really inspired by Mediterranean tile work, specifically in Spain, where it's very colorful.
right.
Because Chantel's going to be doing English paper piecing for our center block, and then I'm going to be teaching you foundation paper piecing, which is on the machine. Chantel's is by hand. So you're going to get two different skills, both of which allow you to get really amazing points and to be able to create things without having to have that perfect quarter inch seam. So that's really
Right.
kind of the fun thing. Um,
Perfection without having to be perfect. It's great.
exactly. It's after my anal retentive heart gets really
Mm.
excited about that. But we had to pick fabrics, and so obviously this is too many fabrics. So we both separately went through and pulled like our favorites. And then I compiled them on, I just used Adobe InDesign because that's the software that I'm really familiar with. You could use whatever. You could just put this, on like a paint board or something, and that would probably be
And
fine too.
this could be an example of something you do with fabrics in your own home. So you pull your
Exactly.
stash and you're like, these are kind of what I'm thinking, and you lay them out in front of you.
And
You
just so
could
you
print them
know,
out even.
what we did is we went through, we didn't have actual fabric with us, and nor were we in the same place. So we did this, on a Zoom call. So we recorded it, and there's going to be a video coming out this week where we actually get to go through our thought process as we go through the poll. So step number one was to put it all in rainbow color order with our backgrounds kind of on the bottom down here. So these were
Mhm.
all of our options for background. You had some that were more charcoal, some that were more blue. This one is a gradation, which depending on what you are doing can work really well or not at all. And so that's kind of where we were at for like, okay, here's what we maybe are going to start with. Um,
It
and
makes
then we
me
just,
curious if we would end up with a similar pool if had we done it again.
I know, I mean, it maybe is different.
But
So,
I feel like it probably would end up about the same because the color rules still apply.
mhm,
But I digress. It was very fun to go through this process and kind
it
of
was.
play fabric without having to have the fabric in front of us so that we could ask for fabric, not too excessively.
Exactly. So then we start going through, and I just start pulling the digital swatches down. And we started, this was, let me back it up a little bit. So this was the reason why we wanted to do this particular one is Chantel wanted a something that could be fussy cuttable. So these two worked really well for that. Why don't you go ahead and chat since this is like your wheelhouse?
So yeah, so I was looking for something that you could fussy cut. So the pattern that we're basing it off of for mine is like a Lucy Boston. So you're gonna want to look that up. It's elongated hexagon shape or a honeycomb shape. And so it all comes together at the center. And what the bread and butter essentially is of really good English paper piecing is that you can fussy cut these beautiful kaleidoscope shapes, right? By cutting the same pattern over and over again and putting them together. So I needed something with a pattern that I could find the same shape essentially over and over again so I could create a kaleidoscope.
And we're using batiks because I'm going to be designing batiks. I don't know if I can say with whom yet, but I'll get that information this week. So maybe I can announce it next week. We'll see.
Yeah.
Um, but we were kind of looking through and we're like, okay, well, we have to figure something out. And we had pulled some that we liked. But when you're working with a fabric manufacturer, sometimes they have ideas on what they would want you to use, mostly based on availability. So the ones that we originally picked, they're like, well, that's going to be like last call kind of soon. How about these that aren't quite out yet? Which is why we couldn't do this live on
Hmm.
the internet for you guys a couple weeks ago, because we weren't allowed to share these fabric images yet. Today's the first day that these particular ones went live. Um, And these are Riley Blake fabrics, which probably gives away who I'm designing batiks for. You heard it here first. Uh, Shh, hopefully there aren't too many people on the live.
That's between us, guys.
I have a signed contract. It's fine. But anyway, so we were kind of looking at these and we're like, the one on the left, Chantel and I, we've talked about this before. There's muddy colors, which doesn't mean it's dirty. It just means it has more brown undertones.
Hmm.
And then there are clear colors which do not have that. It's very like bright, pure color wheel colors. And that's where Chantel and I, that's our happy place where we like to
Yes.
be. So the one on the right was speaking to us more. And I love a good green chartreuse. So that one definitely got pulled on the right here
Yes.
versus the one on the left. And part of it, it's personal preference, but also for the effect you're going for, in this case, it's better to go with the one that's super clear and has that high contrast because why do all the fussy cutting work if like, you might not see the florals because not all of these stand out as much as the white on the green
Hmm.
does. So it's personal preference, but also like you'll get more bang that way for sure.
For this project, it made a lot of sense to use the white on the green also because there's a lot of color variation in the other one, and making
Hmm.
that kaleidoscope in a way that your eye doesn't catch a weird color change or something
Yeah.
would be much more difficult. So for the sake of continuity and everything in this project, I actually really like the other one with the purple and the blue in it, but for this project it just wasn't going to be the right green, and you can't choose all green. Although
And
Stephanie might.
I mean,
That whole row is a
exhibit
Stephanie
A.
row.
Exhibit A, like these two rows right here, they're like my happy place right there.
My
Throw,
happy place is in the warm colors. So we
yes,
balance each other really
we
well.
do for sure. Well, and one of the first ones we picked was this one down here because it had two colors in it. And Chantal was saying it's always good to go with a fabric that introduces second color because then it's easier to pull that in later.
Yep.
Um,
And I agree with that. That's just an interior design concept in general, is that if you're not sure what to do, find your favorite pillow or your favorite piece of art and start cherry picking colors from it.
all right, so then we would just went through and we're like grabbing this, that, and the other thing, trying to arrange it in color order. And
There's
I
a ton of conversation in here
a
too,
ton
explaining why.
why
So
we're
you're
picking
definitely
this.
going to want to watch this video if you're struggling with being able to pick out fabrics and things like that, and understanding the why and not just the, okay, it looks good together.
Or
Um,
like why this orange and not that one.
yeah.
Those are all conversations that we had in here. And as we're looking through it, like you can see that we have the green and then we picked another green with a blue. So again, introducing that next color. And then this is very similar. And we really wanted a stripe because stripes are really great for fussy cutting and I
Hmm.
want to have it on a border. Um, And like, this one here does a real good job of connecting this print and this print.
Yes.
And so we're just picking and pulling and having a really good time. And then we there were a couple that we really liked, but we just couldn't make it work.
No,
Where was it?
it wasn't
Let's
personal. The fabric can't take it personally, luckily.
yeah.
But there were a couple that we really wanted to make work, or they pulled in a lot of good colors, but maybe
Hmm.
it just wasn't the right colors for this project.
Well, and like this one, this is a gradient. So we kept moving it back and forth to make sure that it would work. And right now it's positioned next to this one because we were trying to determine is this purple close enough to this purple or is it not going to play nice together?
Hmm.
And like this blue is here because it's very close to the blue that's in the two of these. And you can see it, we're also arranging it also in color order. We got our hot colors on one side, we got our cool colors on the other side. So that way it's a cohesiveness and you can kind of see what's working together and what's not and how it might flow.
Hmm.
As opposed to just having it haphazardly all over the place. So that's something that you can do too. Like when you're working with fabric, don't necessarily just plop it all out on your desk. Try to keep it in color order so that one color is flowing into another. Like this green flows into the green with the blue, which flows into the blue
Hmm.
green, which then is a full blue. And that process just kind of pops over and it makes it your brain understand it a little bit better, I
I
think.
think I think the fabric kind of plays telephone with the next fabric that plays
Exactly,
telephone with the next fabric. And as long as you can get it to go full circle, you really have a good collection to work with.
for sure. And we were working mostly with basics. So here, let me pull it out because oh, where did that
I'm gonna
go?
grab this charger for my phone so I can make
Okay,
sure we're catching comments.
no, we're fine. Yeah, because I'm not looking at all at the comments at the moment. This one got pulled in. It was one we liked. It had blue and orange in it. Um, and we have blue and orange. Here's orange, here's some blue, but it's really not the right blue. So we pulled it down, we looked at it, and we were like, no, not feeling that vibe. Um, so those are definitely instances where it came and it went very quickly. And then we were messing around a ton. Like we were trying to really narrow it down. Like, what are we actually going to do with this? And then Chantel goes, "Do we have do we have to stick with 12? Could we do 14?" We're like, "It's our quote. We can do whatever we want." So that's something
That's
you can
true.
think of too. Like if your pattern calls for 12 fat quarters, but you have 14 fabrics that you really love, 12 is a minimum. You can have extra fabric when you're done. That's fine. If you feel like you need a little bit more complete color story in order to really make that sing, you're just going to have some extra fabric when it's done. And there's nothing wrong with that. No
Yes.
problem whatsoever. Um, so I think this was the point where we're like, okay,
It
let's
also helped us narrow down a little bit. When we
for
had
sure.
more fabrics, we didn't feel like we were being so exclusive, and it kind of let us play with fabrics a little better, and get them in our hands eventually so that we can
Hmm.
decide right up, we might end up with 12 fabrics that we want to use, uh, but we didn't overbuy.
Exactly. And so this one too. So at this point, what I did was I took my tiny little swatches here and I blew it up big. So this is not at all the scale.
No,
This should be the same size as these little 1 inch ones. But what it
it gives
did
you
is
an
allows
idea.
us to look at the color and how the color is going to play. And when we're looking at it, we're like, okay, everything stands out really great except this guy in the corner down here. He's very dark. So we're like, okay, that can still stay because we like it and it plays really well off of these other
Mhm.
fabrics going around here. However, we have to make sure that it's in the center of our block and not touching the background because it's just too close in color
Mhm.
value. And you wouldn't see it as much. It wouldn't make as much bang for your buck. And then we messed around some more,
And
and this was,
Stephanie had to have everything in order. And so we're like, what if we pulled a yellow? What if we pulled this?
yeah,
So we started pulling some additional colors just to see
yeah,
if maybe what we have up top is not meeting our needs exactly. Because we don't have like a deeper blue. Now, the background that we were looking at is clearly a deeper blue. And you will see there, we did try a different background for
we
a
did.
while.
And
Um,
it was more black.
mhm.
But we liked the blue.
And
Um,
we
uh,
also like this fabric because it was a terrazzo pattern, which is
mhm,
terrazzo is a tile
yeah.
essentially.
And so at this point, we had it where we were playing with not having this in at all, which is a super light one, because it was kind of like the odd man out. And I think this was the point where you're like, can we have 14? Because we also were really liking this one. Because right now it does look weird. It's like we have all these really good, I mean, they're medium value,
Hmm.
but they're very bright. But this one is light and bright. And so you almost do need that second one in order to balance that out a little bit more.
It's like a secondary background almost.
Yeah. So that
It's
was kind
just
of
the opposite to balance the dark.
exactly. So this ended up being, I think, our final.
Maybe I thought we changed the background a couple times just
We
to see.
did a couple times. We did try a couple others. Like we just like went through and we're like, okay, let's just check a few more just to see if there's anything we missed that maybe we might like. And there wasn't really
We
anything that
tried
we
and tried.
loved. Like here, this one, this print and this print, gorgeous. Love those colors. I would like live in this like deep blue teal all day long. Doesn't work with the background at all.
They're the
There's just
same.
not enough
They're not
contrast.
the same, but for the case of a putting a fabric against the fabric, they're gonna look the same.
Yeah, it's not not going to work in that instance. So we're just like going through like, do we like it? Is it bright enough? Is it muddy? And, you know, sometimes you just try a bunch of things and eventually decide, okay,
There's
that's
us.
the go. That's a love. I look exactly like my father in that screenshot. Let me back that up. I am the female version of John D. Pasquale in that one. Um, so this was the final poll, and we did things like we put it in um Photoshop and made it black and white and things like that. So you could figure out like what your color value
Mhm.
was. And that really told us for sure this is way close to the background, which doesn't mean we can't use it. It just means we have
Mhm.
to be careful where we use it. Same with this one. This is
Yes.
close to our background. It's awesome. We like it, but you have to be careful where you place it. And as long as it's not touching your background, you're fine. You're good.
And
Um,
this quilt's kind of unique in that we're trying to mimic tile work. So there
exactly.
are ways for us to inherently fence in certain areas without it touching the background.
Exactly.
And that is essentially the plan. So maybe those don't get used a ton, but there are going to be areas that are going to stand out because they're dark and light and then the dark.
I feel
So
like what I should just do is just request, and they won't care, a yard of all of our other fabrics, and then like 4 yards of our background, and that'll probably do what we need for that, is my guess.
probably, yeah,
Probably.
I don't imagine because they asked for by yard um cuts.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense then. But so how many people will be on the class and the ship depends on how many people book. I think we can do, I don't know what the top amount is. I feel like it's 20,
30
20 or
I
25,
I thought it was 25 or 30 to maybe top was 35 actually, but
maybe.
I
It's
might
not a
be mixing
ridiculous
up.
amount. It's not a ridiculous amount.
But that
Um,
is not necessarily including like you come and your spouse comes. Say your spouse is not into sewing.
yeah,
They don't get counted as they get accounted as a body for our
our
party,
group. Yeah, but
but
they're not.
not a body for the quilting. They
And
they don't get accounted to a sewing machine, essentially.
one thing that confuses people when they go for the first time is that basically you have to think of it as an onboard excursion. So there is a price to do it that factors in the amount of money it costs to rent the machine so you don't have to buy your own, or bring your own and ship it across seas and figure all that out. Like that's just handled for you. And then there is a tech who comes on board with us, whose
Hmm.
job it is when things are not going right with the sewing machines to make sure that they
Right,
get fixed. So Chantel and I aren't wasting our teaching time trying to figure
right,
out machines. Somebody who knows the machines backwards and forwards is the one doing that. Um, and so that is an additional cost. So if you're
right.
doing
And
it and
any
your spouse
supplies
isn't,
too.
yeah. Well, if you're
For
doing
like
it and your
for
spouse
mine, it would be
isn't,
the papers and things like
yeah,
that. Like you're not buying papers for your spouse, so your spouse clearly does not get charged for that.
yeah.
You're
So,
doing this excursion, they are not.
yeah,
They get charged for their cruise fare.
yeah.
You get charged for your cruise fare, but they do not get charged for our retreat portion.
The other thing that's really great about it is like if you've ever been on a cruise ship where every single coffee, tea, soda, everything is charged, that's not how it works here. You get a drink package, and whether you drink or not, your Cokes cost
Drink
money.
alcohol.
Whether they don't, I don't think they have high noons, but they
Well,
have
they
other
might now.
goodies.
They're becoming quite popular. I'd
Are
like to
they?
think it was because of us, but I highly doubt
Maybe.
it.
I don't know that we're that
No, I'm not
inspirational.
sure.
But
Hmm.
basically, anytime you go for a coffee, anytime you go, like even if you just drink plain black coffee, that costs money. Every single time you do it on other cruises. Here, it's just included in your drink packets, and it's now up to $12, and that also includes your gratuity. So you don't have to worry about tipping. You don't have to worry. I mean, you can always tip if you feel someone has gone above and beyond, but you don't have to. That's covered.
Hmm.
Um, you don't
I
have
would
to worry
say
about your
too,
Wi-Fi. You don't like
yes.
all that. You can always upgrade things, but you are going to be fine. And you are going to know that the price of your cruise is the price of your cruise is the price of your cruise. and you're not going to have to worry about it.
Right. You paid for that sucker. It is paid for.
Yes.
And that is the beauty of a cruise. My husband and I are going after we went on our cruise, a celebrity cruise together and did the retreat at sea and teaching and things like that. My husband and I are now going on a celebrity cruise ourselves. And it's just funny because he's expecting something he's seen on TV or videos of this, they're going to nickel and dime me. They're going to do all of this. I was like, it is not like that at all.
No.
Actually, it's more controlled cost wise than if you were to go somewhere off of a cruise because you already have your drinks paid for. All your meals are accounted for.
Hmm.
Like basically all your entertainment is already accounted for.
Well,
So
and
the
I
price you
hate,
pay for is what you get.
like, I live on a budget, and I hate like going somewhere and then something is way more expensive than you think it's going to be, especially like with food prices these days. Like I very rarely eat out anymore, but I had
Hmm.
to when my daughter was doing out of town shows at the Nutcracker, and
Yeah.
it cost me like $70 for me to eat with my two kids who didn't eat it hardly anything.
Hmm.
And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like
Right. And on a
like it
cruise, like
that's not
celebrity,
it. That's
you,
not it,
I
you
ordered
know?
something. What was it? Was it you that ordered something? You really weren't feeling it. They just politely took it back and gave you something different.
Yeah, they don't care.
It's
It's
not a
fine.
big deal for them. And I have a peanut allergy, for example. They were above and
Really good about it.
beyond careful, also making sure that the adjacent people weren't consuming peanut products for
Yes,
me. They really go out of their way for you.
for
I
sure.
am just so, whereas I go on a lot of vacations, I go on a lot of trips. My husband's in medicine. We get to go to a lot of places. We stay in a lot of hotels. We take a lot of flights. The level of service that you get with celebrity really is
It's
worth the
so
hype.
good. We made our room steward, I think, incredibly nervous because we're like, you don't really need to go in the room. It's fine. And
Ah,
he's like, I want to come in. We're like, no,
no,
really? We have fabric all over the place right now. It's fine.
he's like, but maybe the bathroom. We're like, it's fine. He's like, no, it's
I
not.
mean,
It's
we still
fine.
tipped him good at the end, but he
Even though
like
you
I
don't
think
have to.
we legit made him nervous, I think, because we were like, no, really, it's fine. And he's like, no, really, I want to come in.
Well, it turns out if you're on the retreat level, so if you're in a suite, you get a butler.
Do
I'm not
you?
even, you get a butler. They
I
like
did not
unpack
realize.
your stuff for you and they will personally drive you places.
That's wild.
I know. It's
We
crazy and
got
wild. And I was like, so I've
we
been
got
looking into this
special
personally.
onboarding. We got special onboarding service on the Alaska one for the family, which was amazing because imagine standing in that really long. I mean, they move you through pretty quick,
It's not that
but
long. Celebrity is one
standing
of
in a
the
line with a
best.
5-year-old who has already been traveling a really, really long time. Like they were
Yes.
just like, boom, and they're like, "Would you like some food?" And I was like, "No, I would like to get on the boat so that my child does not have a meltdown on the way." And they're like,
Point
"Okay,
me,
you're sure?"
point me to the nearest chicken nugget, please.
And they did. We found out they actually do have chicken nuggets on board. If you're a child or Chantel, you can
I
request them.
love I I am so used to eating kids' food that at a certain point on that trip, I was craving it. I needed it. I was like, where is the mac and cheese? And she's like, but there's fried rice. And I was like, okay, well, I can live with the fried rice
There's the
because
fried rice.
there's
I
the
had
fried
like
rice.
Mediterranean lunch like every single day. I would go eat my mortadella and my prosciutto and my fresh mozzarella and the balsamic vinaigrette. It was so good. So good. It was like the best.
I
And like
know.
I didn't gain any weight. I know some people are like, "Oh, you gain weight on the cruises." Like I easily got in my
You were
10,000 steps a
walking.
day.
But that's
Easily.
another thing to mention. Accessibility is really not an
It
issue on these
is.
ships. We had somebody on
We
our
had multiple
transatlantic that got
people,
injured
yeah,
right before
on
she
the
got
way.
on the ship.
Like on the way to she like fell on the way out of her house, was in crutches, and they were still able to get her a scooter
They got her
to
a
go around.
scooter. She went around everywhere without an issue. I mean, they are ready and prepared for things like that. And it's awesome.
It is.
Nobody gets left out. I mean, there are excursions where it'll say that it is an extreme situation. Well, yeah, if you're walking around pebbled streets or things like that, but these are extra paid
Yeah. Extra paid
additions
thing.
that
And
you actually don't need.
you don't ever need to do it. Like we spent a lot of ports. We went on one excursion with the group in Alaska, that we Chantel or well, that I put together with Ray and John.
Yeah,
And Chantel and I are putting together some fabric and textile themed ones for Italy as well that we'll talk about once they're
yes.
finalized. But, we just putzed around the ports otherwise, and that's fine.
A lot of the ports are in towns already. You
Yeah.
don't need to be additionally taxied to a location to
hmm
enjoy them.
So you absolutely, I mean, there's things that like if we did a walking tour of a medieval city, that was really awesome. That
Yeah.
I'm so glad we did
And we got
because
lost.
we did.
Well, we didn't get lost. We lost our tour group.
We they were like,
We
here.
overshopped.
They're like, go ahead and go around for a little bit. And we just like absconded completely and didn't realize that like what time are we supposed to be back? Any of that. And then
I
we just
lost
like
my phone in a bookstore and they closed for lunch. So we're like, oh, well, let's go to a fabric store. We'll come back to the bookstore in an hour.
so
Like
we do
that's
that.
how out of the tour we were.
Yes, we were like just doing our own complete thing. And then we're like walking back and Chantel's like, you want to go this way or that? I'm like, well, I didn't see the cathedral. Let's do
Yep.
that. And
Yeah.
as we do it, there's our group. We're like, oh, thank
We
God.
see like, you know how in every group there's always like a person
Uh,
or two that is a very like recognizable, like maybe they
yeah.
have like a brightly colored hair or something like that. And we just see that person. We're like, should go with them.
Yes.
Let's get, and
So
they
we're
were literally walking to
to the bus.
our bus where they would have found out we weren't there
Oh God.
because if you're on an excursion with the ship, they will make sure that you are not left behind. If you're on your own excursion and you happen to not come back, well,
Then you're in trouble. But
but anything that's planned through Ray and John is technically through the ship. And so
it
they will
is,
make
yeah.
sure that you are not left behind. Plus, we'll know you personally at that point.
Yeah.
So it's not really a
Like
problem.
I get text messages from one of the people that was on the cruise. Like she was showing me her table runner all set up for
Oh,
Christmas.
this
I
is
was
going
like,
to be kind of
oh,
funny.
sweet.
I'm wearing my socks from Kathy.
Oh, my husband stole mine and
Ah,
claimed them for himself.
I'm literally wearing my socks that I got from one of the people on the transatlantic.
So
She
it's
sent them to
really
them.
fun.
She mailed them to me,
I know, we got them too. And
and
my
she made
husband
sure they were
immediately
in
stole
pink.
them. She
They're
immediately
great.
stole them.
And I'm
I
like,
know they are.
I gotta like get this pattern. They fit perfectly. She couldn't have done better had she like traced out my foot.
I know. But it's
They're
really
fantastic.
fun. And you
Oh,
really get
so
to know
fun.
everybody. And we have like the same assigned seating at dinner. And but
Assigned as in like we have the assigned tables.
we do,
You
yeah.
don't
And
have to
so
sit next to the same person every night.
like Chantel and I like do musical chairs basically, where we sit with somebody different every night so we get to know everybody. My dog is really wandering a lot. He's very
Does he need to
energetic
pee?
tonight. Hopefully not. I don't want him to
You'll
pee on my
find
stuff.
out.
Speaking of, we should probably talk about our sewing rooms because that is our next adventure.
Oh yeah. Well, let's wrap this up and then we're going to talk
Okay.
about a little bit because we're not too far into we are like nowhere as the
Yeah.
night goes. It is only like what, 10:10? I'm trying
10:04 according to my
10:04.
clock. Yes.
We're fine. We do have some
We have thoughts.
plans for the month of
Yes.
January, which if you've been with us for a little while, you know that we've been talking about what our plans for January may be. But I like where this is going with our conversation because truthfully, it is so fun.
Yes.
So, so fun. And I was looking up the prices of the cruise not that long ago to see if I could like wiggle in and, because I'm going on a celebrity cruise anyways. So I
hmm
have the app on my phone, super easy to navigate. They'll make sure that if you're on this cruise that you know how to use the app. It's like
Yeah.
not a problem at all.
And if you have
And
any questions, like they were literally like helping people get on the internet because they kick themselves off almost
I
daily sometimes. Because some people, there's always the people who
just
have a little bit of
blow a little
challenge with the
whistle
technology,
and they show
and
up.
yep, they're fine.
And they're awesome. And so I was I was trying to see if I could see some of the excursions and things like that. And what you think it would cost to travel basically the entire side of Italy and Barcelona and a little bit of France, get in some of those places in Malta, it is not that bad.
No, it's not.
One of your biggest costs will be getting to Barcelona, of course, which you
Yeah.
can't really worry about until you're closer to the date. That's just how
Ray and
flights
John are
work.
always like, have you paid for your cruise yet? Let's do that first and then we'll book your flight.
But it's really not that bad. It
No.
makes me want to go travel all over the place. It's like as long as I can get a flight there,
Ray and
it's
John
a
are
very
always
affordable
like,
way to fly to
once you do
go.
a cruise, you don't really want a vacation any other way. And my 5-year-old hated camp at sea because they put her with the little kids and she is not want to be looped in with the little kids. But
She's a tiger lily, not a peace
she
lily.
is. My 11-year-old loved it. She was like, "Can I go to camp at sea? I don't care about port. I want to be at camp at sea." So, two different mentalities there.
You
But
can
she
bring your kids.
is
We're not.
constantly asking, "Can I go? Can we go on another cruise? Can we go on another cruise?" Because she had so much fun. She thought it was the best thing in the world, and she had so much fun going. And she's like, "But you're going on too." And I'm like, "I know, Lily. You didn't get
Oh,
invited back. You were made mommy a little stressful.
yeah.
We'll have to go on our own. It'll be fine. And the mom can actually have a vacation too instead of work all day while I'm on it."
I like that Ray and John tried.
They did.
And honestly, the kids were really good, like you said.
They
But
were.
this
But
kid
it's
was
really
better.
hard. It's hard when you have two kids at dinner who really don't do well sitting next to each other at dinner. And
Mm-mm.
you have like dinner on there. You don't have to go to the dining room every night, but if you do, they like to make it an experience for you.
Mhm.
And so they will take their time serving your 3 courses. And you can ask them to speed it up if you want, but it's going to be an hour dinner.
It's not a
And
fast food restaurant.
yeah, that's not what it is. They
It's a
want you
it's
to
a restaurant,
they want you to enjoy your food. They want you to savor it. They want you to
have
fill
it
up your wine
warm.
glass all the time, like all those things. Like, and you just get to talk and know each other, and it's really fun. But when you have your husband and a child, and then you, and then another child, and you're just praying
And you're
that
with a group
they
of other
don't do
people.
anything to be ridiculous
Oh
because
my
you
God,
are
I
also
can't
the
imagine.
entertainment at dinner and you don't want to be that kind of entertainment. It was a challenge. So I
Uh,
was a little stressed, mostly at dinner, because I'm just like, oh my God, please,
I
please
am impressed
listen.
that you did it,
Yeah.
truthfully, because I would have to say the offer were put out to me to take my children. I would be like, we can bring Penelope.
That's her easygoing little third child.
Yes.
Yes.
That child's happy. She says yes to like everything.
Yeah.
Today, she asked for chocolate milk. I told her to ask dad. Dad said, ask mom. She comes back to me. She said, Dad said to ask you. And I said, John, blah, 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 like get her chocolate milk. He's like, I will in a few minutes. I told her, Daddy's going to get your chocolate milk real soon. About 40 minutes later, she comes up, I'm still ready for my chocolate milk.
She's not complaining about it.
No,
Meanwhile, my child, I had to turn off Roblox so we could go to the bank and do my car payment
she's a
because
miracle.
you can't do it like electronically
Normal,
with this
yeah.
one. And 45 minutes of crying because I turned off Roblox. So
There
this
are a
kid
lot of different kinds of kids.
she's got to get a little older before she comes back on a cruise. And but
I would
at
take
least
Penny.
at least a work cruise. A work cruise, no. A fun family cruise, sure. Um, but
I mean, if it's a vacation for them, but a vacation for us, a work trip on top of that, I commend you for doing it. And I'm sure they
oh
actually
yeah,
did probably better than you
they did good.
imagined.
Well,
But
like my husband likes to be the fun guy, which is
yeah,
fine. And so he's off doing all the fun things with them while I'm in class, which is fine. And
well, that's fun for us,
it
you
is.
know.
And then like one time, Ray and John were cracking up laughing. They happened to witness this. I was at the pool. I'm trying to read my book, and I've given the kids 3 warnings, timed warnings, of it's time to get out of the pool because we got to go do the next thing. And do they get out of the pool when it's time? Of course not. And so Italian Stephanie Mama comes out and she says in no certain terms that it's time to get out of the pool. And Ray and John, who John's, also Italian, had an Italian mother, they happen to be walking behind me on the track as I'm doing this. And it was the most embarrassing moment of my entire life. Well, not the most embarrassing. The most embarrassing was when I
But
was
it was like
recognized at
these
the
are your
scale in the
buddies
gym.
at the
Yeah.
same time, like we work with them, but they are like we work closely with them.
Yeah.
And to have them see you go all full Italian mother
Oh,
on
yeah.
these children
For sure. I mean, John would have
had
handed
to
me a
be
wooden
hilarious.
spoon. John would have handed me a wooden spoon if he would have had one. I guarantee, because that's
Oh
how
my
I'm sure
gosh,
his mother
yeah.
handled him.
And Ray
That's
would have been
not what
like,
I
"Is
do.
that required? Do we really need to do that?
Uh,
Do we need
but it
to go
was
that
fun.
far?" And John would have
But
been like, "Yes."
John, like, when I describe characters in my book and I think that they need to be stern, I describe John's jowls is what I do.
Oh, jowls is a terrible word, but I know what you
No,
mean. Jowls,
I
I
don't.
think of like a bulldog, like, but
I
I
use
know
it
what you mean.
sparingly.
That like,
I use it sparingly. I just want to say, if anybody ever reads, if I get it published
she's gonna get it
and
published.
they read my first book, there are two characters in there that are Ray and John.
You got to find out who they are. It's up to you.
There's gonna be a scene, and you're gonna look at it, and you're gonna be like, "That's them."
That's the reason to come. They are great.
They are awesome. They are awesome.
Are
Okay,
they an acquired taste? I don't even think so. I think they're great
no, they're awesome. Everybody who travels with them loves them. Loves
because
them.
they're efficient. They get things done. But they're also really like enjoyable. They're just separate characters. I mean, it's like any relationship, right? Like you have the yin and the yang
Oh,
to
my
balance each
husband,
other.
we're like talking with them on the last night, and they're like, doing their like little jibber
The
jabbers
little
back and
banter,
forth.
yeah.
And he looks at me, Adam goes, "They sound like us." I'm like, "Yeah, they do."
Yeah, successful
Uh,
relationships sound like this,
I
apparently.
know, apparently. But okay, so January cleanup.
We are on to a new topic, everybody. Is everyone excited to look at their sewing room after what the holidays did to it? Because I'm not.
Oh, mine isn't even, I can't even blame it on that. This
You
is just
can't.
Stephanie's straight up negligence.
I ate my potato in that room and it didn't have a surface for me to put a potato on.
It did not. It definitely did not. It's bad.
I love you, but it did not have a surface for a potato. To
It's
be
very bad.
fair, I have a lot of space and there is barely a room for a potato. So I am no better.
True. Okay. So, our goal is to clean up our sewing rooms in the month of January, maybe a little into February. We'll see how it goes. But we're
We're
gonna
not
have,
going to reinvent the wheel here, guys. We're just
yeah,
trying to get a
we're
little
gonna,
bit better.
because I don't know about you guys, I cannot function in a space where there's too much stuff. Like
Yes.
my brain cannot concentrate on the task at hand because I see to-do lists all over.
And you have
And
to understand, we see literally as we're recording, it looks nice behind us. It looks
oh, it
beautiful
looks
behind you.
fabulous. Everything over here and all the way that way is very bad.
Look at that,
Oh yeah, like okay, let's
girl.
go. I
It
have
looks
my
gorgeous.
I have my shark blanket on the floor, which probably now has a bug in
Oh.
it. And I have quilts on a chair that need to be folded and put away. These are not like any old quilt. These are the quilts from my last book, and they are just tossed over there because I'm
They just live
ridiculous.
there.
And then we have packages that have been sitting on that table since I went on the cruise in July.
And the dog,
And yeah, well,
dog's
that
just
doesn't
floating
even count. The
around.
dog's in the back. And then we have crap all over the long arm, and we're not even going to talk about what's under the long arm or the state of my drawers. It's not very good.
I mean,
This
I
area
I
is
can't even
good.
reach this sewing machine. Like
This
I,
situation is good, but that's the only part.
this is what you see.
Yeah.
And then there's what we actually see. So you have to, we are not
Oh,
abstaining from
apparently
this.
Jem loves to quilt is not. She's taking January off. which is
Hey,
fine.
that's fine.
You can
Watch the
follow along at
follow
your own
along
pace.
and take it on when you're ready. We're not
Our
going
goal
crazy
though,
here.
our goal though is to give you manageable tasks week by week.
Yes,
So week one is going to be to document the
how it looks
disaster you currently have.
right now.
Don't tidy it first.
Don't pick anything up.
Don't do it all. Like if there's an old centipede on the floor, leave them. It's fine.
In fact, yeah, that's really funny. If there's an old centipede, I have little mouse traps
I
that
know I
have like
have one.
centipedes like stuck to them. All
It's
right.
gross. We're both in basements. I'm sure a lot of you guys are in basements too.
It
You
looks
know,
bright. It's lighting.
it
It's
is.
not, it's, it's like 10 at night. It's not sunshine, clearly.
I mean, if we look
Um,
up, this is what we're dealing with here.
I mean, mine's a better look, but mine used to be a theater room. So I have lighting up there and I have an old like projector and stuff like that, but my floors, it's an unfinished space back behind this wall. Like we found a Lord Voldemort once in this room. If
She means a snake.
Ugh.
I was very confused. I was like, I found a Voldemort. And I was like, what the
I
heck are you
won't
talking
talk
about,
about it.
Chantel?
It's the he who shall not be named is actually the snake, not
Yes.
Lord Voldemort.
Okay.
So I mean,
But
it's you got to take pictures.
step one,
You
and
got to be honest with yourself.
we're not talking a wide shot. I mean, we want a wide shot. Go get yourself a wide shot, but do the detail shots. Do the shot of your cutting area. Do the shot of your desk. Do the shot of the chair that's currently filled with quilts that my dog can't climb on, but he really
Get the
would like to.
floor.
Yes, like but keep in mind of your angles because we want to have good before and afters. That's what makes it exciting. Where we could be like, I can't see this, and
Yes.
now look at how fabulous this whole
You
situation is.
want to be able to replicate at least some of the photos so you can have a before and an after, right? So you want
Because
to make sure you're
need
taking angles that you can essentially recreate.
we all need that Instagram like, ooh, look at how she did. Like we're gonna show off eventually. That's what's gonna happen.
And sometimes those pictures, especially for somebody with a brain like mine, I don't always see everything. And I'll take a picture and it was like, that's not on, oh, it is on my counter. I don't see it in real life. But as soon as I take a picture of it, it becomes very evident that it's like, oh, this is kind of an eyesore. I didn't see it as an eyesore before.
Ooh,
Yay!
we got some people in. AB's in. We
Nice.
got one taker. So
Good.
that's going to be week one. So you don't have to do anything
Just,
this week.
you don't have to do anything
You can
really.
continue to have your Christmas coma. That's fine. Like we're just take your pictures. And step two, so next week's challenge is going to be to clear your surfaces. And we'll talk a little bit about it now because you might want to do a little bit of prep to get ready for it.
Hmm.
And by prep, we mean get yourself some doom bins, as I like to call it.
I love this concept because this was brought up to me by Stephanie. It's an idea that is not foreign to cleanups and things like that, but it's the idea that didn't have a name for me before this. So,
This is actually like an ADHD term. Apparently, ADHD people tend to have doom bins where there's just piles of things that have a purpose, but not necessarily a location, or something needs to happen to them before they can go to their final location.
they're
And
homeless.
so, yeah, well, yeah. So, for
I call them
example,
single and searching in my house.
so what we're going to do is we're going to have three. And really, the third one can be a trash bag. So you want to have one that's this is a good thing that I want to keep, but it either doesn't have a home or something needs to happen to it before it can get put away. Think I bought a bunch of fabric at the store and I need to fold it pretty and put it
That
away.
pile there.
Yeah, we all have that. Like we have, I have all my fat quarters in this, and I have a
Yes,
bunch more that need to go to it.
I have a laundry
Have I
basket.
have I folded them? No, they're piled in stacks over here, and something needs to happen to them before anything can move forward.
I read a book that called it procrasticlutter, which I
Yes,
really liked that term because it's only clutter because it hasn't been processed yet.
yeah,
So you're procrastinating on it, thus making it clutter. It's procrasticlutter.
yeah. So like, you know. your notions, your fabric, your patterns.
Things that have come home
Finish.
in
Yeah.
bags and never came out of the bag.
Oh, we all have those. I have at least three sitting around right now. So those are things that are going to go in your keep bin. And I have a child who's probably asking for time on her phone.
So I'll carry on with that. So
Yes,
these are items that are keep they're definitely a keep. You bought them for the intention of saving in that particular space. Hi. So these items are definitely staying in the space. You had the intention of keeping them all along. The problem is that they haven't made it to their space.
exactly. They're the fat quarters that you bought a year ago and they still have been folded.
They're the buttons
Um,
that didn't end up in the button drawer.
exactly. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. So those are that's your going to be your keep bin. And then we're going to have a maybe.
Hmm.
So really we could have three. Maybe is I might keep it, I might not. So this is your stuff that's like I might use that fabric someday, but I also might not have room for it.
Right. There's a lot of things that we want to keep that maybe don't earn a space in the end, right? You
Yeah.
start seeing how everything's going to lay out. I have a lot of that. So not that long ago, Stephanie's sister bought a record player from me. When I
Hmm.
took that record player out, I had to redo some of that area. And when I put stuff up, I realized that it didn't all fit the same way that it had before. And so now I have these extra items that I have the intention of keeping, sorta, but maybe they don't have a space anymore. I've been gifted a lot of vintage buttons. I'm at the point where I have so many buttons that
Do I
maybe
need
one
them?
or two of those jars need to go in the maybe because
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be able to earn their keep, right?
Or like for example, when I started buying fabric as a young quilter, I bought a lot of things that it was before the modern quilting world happened.
Hmm.
So I bought things that were as bright as I could get them, but are not really where I like to be today.
We
And
do that in
so,
clothes all the time where
yeah,
we have something that fit our style at the time. And it doesn't mean that it's not a good item, but maybe it's not good for us anymore.
exactly. So that might be something that might go in a maybe bin. If you're looking at it and you're like, because I did this, not that long ago. I went through all my shelves that I have over here,
Hmm.
right? I was trying to make room for all my yardage. And I was looking at some of the things and I was like, am I ever going to use these? Maybe not. And so maybe I can find a different home for that. And we'll talk, that's going to be a whole week where we talk about
Yes.
finding homes for things. But for now, maybe bin. Um, and you might be adding more to the maybe bin because you might find a lot of things that are your yes bin, and you're like, okay, I just don't have room for everything, so something's got to go.
Yes.
And
A lot of the problem, like in my sewing room, is that I have maxed out my space capacity.
same,
And unless I decide to put shelves on the ceiling, it's just not going to work out. Like I have to break up with some of my items, right? So another thing that we're talking about for these maybe items, and we'll go into some of the items that we're talking about donating, is making a list or some type of resource for you guys to understand where you can give these items to where they can actually be used properly because giving it to a normal Goodwill, I don't know if they're going to understand what the fat quarters are. Will they end up
yeah.
in the trash, for example? Whereas donating it to a local quilt
Like
guild,
my quilting
for
guild
example.
has a charity committee, and it has a doll quilts committee, and it has quilts that they make for Habitat for Humanity and quilts for veterans. And so they are always willing to accept those fabrics, and
Hmm.
it will get used in a proper way. Um, Another thing is you want to make sure you're not making it somebody else's problem. So like I had a friend
Exactly.
who was getting into sewing and I sent her pictures of stuff and I said, "Hey, is this do you want any of these or none of these?" Because maybe some of them she wants, maybe some of them then becomes her trash problem.
Yes.
And you don't
Yes.
want to make your problem somebody else's problem. you want to mindfully give them something that they're going to want and want to do something with.
I
So
think we'll
even that
really
makes sense too,
tackle the maybes and the donates at about the same time, but we'll probably come out with the outcomes in separate weeks. So
for
what you're
sure.
going to do with your maybes and what you're going to do with your donates. So the next group is obviously you're definitely want to donate.
Yeah. Definitely that. So like maybe donate, those are kind of similar piles because really maybe's kind of on its way to donate.
It's maybe donate, maybe
Yeah.
keep,
Yeah,
right?
it's like it's
So
going to be
you're a
one or the other.
transitional bin.
Yeah. So, and then you're definitely going to have your, okay, these are going to go. And there's two really issues of go. One is this is straight up trash. Like I have legit trash sitting on my desk right now. I have
Right.
food wrappers that like, and I constantly end up with high noons sitting down here.
Yes.
Like, like I have legit trash that needs to go. And then there is this just isn't used anymore. I've got an empty bottle of Best Press that I never did anything with. Here's all the extra little scraps of fabric that you can't really do
Hmm.
anything with. And some people, like my neighbor, loves tiny scraps, loves it. So I will save them
Scraps
and
is
then I
big.
will bring them to her. And so that's like, that's a way to get it to somebody who's going to
Yes.
actually like it. And it keeps it from going to trash. But to me, when I am done making a quilt,
She's done.
I am done with that fabric. I'm going to save
I
enough
can't.
of it. I'm going to save enough of it to do a hexie, and then needs to be gone from my life, and I'm fine with
She
that.
only does that hexie because of me at this point.
Only. Yep.
Because I was
That's
like,
on the
you
floor
could,
next to me too. That needs
you,
a
I,
better home.
my hexie pile is also on the floor over here. There's a lot going on this pile over here. You know why? Because I read somewhere that you should start in the upper left and go to the right. And if I walk in my room, or is it the upper right and go around, whatever. I start over there and I go around this way. You know
Hmm.
where I never get to? Right there.
One thing I really want to make sure we talk about, we're going to talk about our storage solutions that work
And
for
we're
us too.
gonna, yeah, definitely
Yeah.
expand upon all of this given each week, kind of give you a
Yeah,
topic to settle into for the week. We're not
for
doing
sure.
this some rapid pace. Like we are
No,
rapidly in 3 weeks
no.
gonna radicalize our rooms. No, we're doing this as a
It's
normal
gonna
human.
take the time it takes because Chantel's got 3 kids that she's running around after. I'm working 40 hours a week plus doing a bunch of other things and
Yes.
running kids around. This is going to be, we're not going to Marie Kondo this in a weekend. It's going to
Mm-mm.
be a nice, slow, I can do this and then I can maintain it. And
Yes.
that's the big thing.
And the other thing is that we both like to keep things. So we understand that the process is not as easy for everybody as it is for some people. So a
For
lot of
sure.
organizers will come in. I mean, I have a background in interior design. I I see the people that are willing to buy three knickknacks and make it look fantastic. I am not that person,
Yeah.
right? Like that
We are, what's the phrase? Maximalists.
maximalist.
We are.
We are
Obviously.
trying to
Look at all
be
this stuff behind me. I am a maximalist.
right.
Yeah.
We are making every effort we can to make our lives a little easier. So the advice that you're going to get from us is never going to be get rid of it all, start
No.
over again, buy it brand new, because that's
No.
just not something that we would do.
Well, and it's just not, one, it creates a lot of waste, and two, it also is just not feasible for most people in today's economy. And
Hmm.
so we're going to
And
want to
not,
make the most of
yeah,
things.
and not everybody has day after day after day to make this work. I mean, a lot of us will get maybe an hour a week tops to come down here and sort through some things. So we're talking about surfaces, we're talking about drawers,
Yeah.
we're talking about the floor. We're not talking about, okay, this week we're going to go through everything. Like,
No.
no. And we
Like,
don't have a personal timeline even for ourselves. This is
mm-mm.
also like a personal goal of ours to just
Well,
make it more livable for ourselves.
and I used to share my sewing space with my entire team of 14 when I was working at the shop. So
Yeah.
things had to have a location where they went back to so that everybody knew where the rotary cutters and scissors were. and
That makes a ton of sense.
where to go look to find the thread that matched whatever project it was we were
It's
working
like
on.
a kitchen.
Yeah.
You know,
And
in your
so,
house, you put the silverware back in the silverware drawer. Do you live by that same concept in your sewing room? Well, maybe not, right? Because
or maybe you started there and then gradually everything got mixed all together and it needs to tidy again. Um,
yes,
so those are the things, and we'll talk about, give you the actual storage bins that we use in order to
yes,
make
we
things
have
work.
very
Yeah.
specific things that work for us, but I think also giving you
And
things that we've seen.
how to fold it, how to the things that you need to get everything on comic book boards if you want to
Yes.
get it folded to fit in the bins you can get really easily at Target because the ones
Mhm.
Chantel's preferred that
To be
store's out
fair,
of
you
business
can
now.
get mine again online,
Yeah.
but it's not as easy. I have to admit that you
Yeah.
having yours from a place like Target where you can easily access
Get
them.
anytime. Well, and the thing that I like to do too is you have the space you have. So to me, I'm
That
like, if
sounds so condescending, but at the same time, it is the truth. You
it's the
have
truth,
what you have. You can't just go get a new
no.
house every time you've run out of space.
So for me, it's really helpful to say this is the set amount of bins I have for fat quarters.
Hmm.
And if I want to get more fat quarters, I need to use some of the fat quarters that I have to
Yes,
make space for it. Or
I
I have
have
a set
been.
amount of bins for my projects, and I have a set amount of space for that. And if I need to finish a project if I'm going to add another one to it.
Yes, my bins. So I had bought all of mine at Bed Bath and Beyond. And of course, you know, Bed Bath and Beyond essentially went defunct. And so I was buying them from iDesign and they were through Bed Bath and Beyond. I can still find my bins minimally. But the point is to buy essentially once, fill your bins, and then that is your limit,
Yeah.
right? You might have a couple extras on hand, like I do, just in case some really good stuff comes out in May and you just have to have it, right? And you
Hmm.
haven't quite cycled through, but your bins are your limit, they're your
Yeah.
space. And so if they are full, you start considering, is this really something I need, or is something else no longer my taste, right? It's like a
Exactly.
closet, right? You get a
That's what
certain
I
amount of
did.
stuff in your closet and you start deciding, oh my gosh, I can't fit anything in there. Nothing's getting out of the laundry basket because I can't fit it onto an actual rod anymore. Well, you'll find that a lot of the stuff that's still on the rod is not your style anymore. And it's the same with fabric, but we have to find creative outlets to get rid of that fabric so we
Hmm.
don't feel like we're creating waste. We're not
Absolutely.
just throwing it away.
The other thing I really want to talk about is vertical storage
Yes.
because my first sewing room, well, first I had a bedroom and then I had a closet and then I had a mud room. Quilt Addicts Anonymous started in a 9 by 13 inch or 9 by 13 foot
Inch.
mud room. It
Yes,
was small. I had to do
it
all
was
my filming
tiny.
in there, all of my fabric and projects needed to be in there. It was tight. The cat litter box was in there. There was like no space for anything.
It
And
was
so
cute, but it was windowed too.
yeah, so and I had literally like packing paper on the walls so that I would be able to film without direct sunlight screwing everything up. But so everything needed to like every vertical space needed to have a purpose. I had vertical storage for thread. I had vertical storage for my uh ironing board and iron. Like everything, every square inch, not just on the floor, but the walls had a
Yes.
purpose. So that way I was able to have everything on there. And one thing I really want to do, I have stuff like that that's been sitting in a box for at least a year to deal with like my long arm thread, for example. And I'm staring at it right now. That's going to be one of my things I want to do
Procrastinator.
is I also want to be able to creatively display some of the things that I've created.
Yes.
So, like I have magazine clippings from when Quilt Addicts Anonymous started and I first started getting featured in magazines that have been framed nicely. I have cross stitch art that I found for a song at, you know,
Whatever. Yeah.
wherever. And I have my Liberty of London bag. Those are the thing. I have my collection of thimbles. And so these are all things that I have a big, giant open wall behind my long arm that is
It
pretty
is
much
huge.
it's pretty much useless for anything because you really can't get back there.
Mm-mm.
Um, the way that my room is situated, but it could be pretty. And then if I'm not that I want to cut on camera because I will mess that up, but if I'm over there doing something else and it's on camera, it'll look nice behind there. So
Right. And it's funny because behind a long arm, you do have room for shelves to come out and things, and you have these beautiful vintage sewing machines
I do. I need
that
that
you would love
though.
to be able to display, but it needs the right kind of shelving. It
Exactly.
just might take the hour to really dig in and figure out what it is exactly that you need. But
Yeah.
again, we're
Well, and the wall, in my case, the wall is unfinished on the other side. So if I wanted to anchor
oh, it's
that
got to go all
sucker
in studs for
to a
sewing machine.
stud, like we're good. But yeah, those things, they call them boat anchor machines for a reason. They're heavy, and I have gorgeous, pretty ones that I would love to have up
She's
there.
got good ones,
But I need something that's like meant for like a display
like a
of
kitchen
kitchen
shelf.
shelf. Yeah, that's what I need if I'm going to put it up there. And it
She
also
loves
needs to
white though,
be,
so I need to
I
do some
mean,
research for her because
I can paint anything.
yes, I found you some really good metal ones actually, but they're metal and they're slotted, and
Yeah.
so they would not paint white actually.
The
I
other
found you
thing,
the one thing that wouldn't work.
the one thing that I have that I really want to do, and I'm going to have to wait until it's a little bit warmer to do it, is I found an old printer's drawer
Hmm.
where they would put the
Yeah, I
typeset
have one in my
in,
bathroom upstairs
and
actually.
I'm going to paint it, and then I'm going to put my thimble collection in it
That's a good idea.
because I
That's
have a
a
lot.
really good idea.
And then
So
I will
another
never
thing
touch
you
it
can
again.
do this
It'll be
week,
dusty as
yes,
heck.
it's fine. It'll be vintage looking.
Yeah.
It'll be authentic looking. So another thing you can really kind of dig into this week is go ahead and go on Pinterest or go
Get your mood board
online.
set.
Just kind of set your intention for your space. Like it's not just taking pictures of your room. It's kind of getting your
What would my
it.
dream sewing machine look or dream sewing room look like? And don't look at the big, airy, gorgeous, all the fabric looks like it belongs as in a catalog. That's not realistic for most people. Like,
Mm-mm.
but take those elements and be like, I really love that fabric wall. And you know what? You can create that fabric wall.
Mm-hmm.
That can happen.
And come here with your ideas too, like what you're looking for, because I spend a little too much time going on home goods sites and figuring out this kind of stuff because I miss my job. It's every
Yeah.
once in a while, and I spend my time kind of figuring out who has what, right? So
Hmm.
uh don't be afraid to ask questions about what you're looking for because I still keep my fingertips wet about what's going on. Um
Absolutely.
yeah, just get an idea for, and it can be a mood. It doesn't even have to be a sewing room necessarily. It's like, do you kind of lean towards something more rustic? Rustic? Do you lean towards something more clean line and modern?
Or are you
Uh,
like Chantel, where you like white and me, so that the color of the fabric is what
so
is
it's
pulling your attention?
just the fabric. And so for me, like a lot of this fabric, I do use my fabric, but I
Yeah.
use very little of it at a time. Do I need this much fabric? No. Is this part of the art in the room? Absolutely.
Yes.
Right?
And it's inspiring too, to be
I
able to
look
go
at
in
it,
and see it and be like, oh, this is awesome.
it
Like,
it makes me want to work. So what inspires you to work? Some people just need a clear space. Other people need to see their projects on the wall. They need to have a quilt wall of some sort to be able to pin up ideas and things like that.
some people
So
really want a design wall.
yeah, I sort of have a design wall, but it ended up being more of a pin up wall of things that I've worked on.
Hmm.
And I really don't use it as a design wall. I use
Yeah.
it as, you know, a temporary art wall.
Or like I have a wall that currently is just painted concrete brick that I have a stencil for that looks like a chevron pattern. that I would
Mm,
love to do in like my Quilt Athletics Anonymous colors. And so that way when I'm cutting something, I have something a little bit prettier to look at. And it's not something where I want to hang anything because we do get moisture in our basements.
hmm
And I used specific moisture blocking paint. So I do not want to put holes in the wall to hang
hmm
something.
Yes.
So that's an option for me. I can paint it and I can make it look pretty. And
I have a really dry basement. I installed, so over here, I'll turn you. You can see I installed, this is where the theater screen used to be, and I
yeah.
installed felt tiles. Hi, yes, it really loves to filter in and focus in on whatever it feels like. But they're just felt tiles. And they have certain brands that are well known, and they have certain brands you can find on Amazon, and those are the ones you can find on Amazon. Uh, I would love if Felt Right, called me and said, "Hey, let's replace those." But for now, I just use it as a bulletin board.
Yeah.
And I put the things up there that I like. I have my American Girl pins or whatever that I
hmm
found online. I have various things for my kids, but it makes it fun.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
there are little areas in all of our sewing rooms. I have a pegboard. Some people like to have some vertical storage. I have a lot of rulers. You don't have a lot of rulers. You like to keep yours in a drawer.
I do.
I like to keep mine on pegs and vertical. You can find a lot of inspiration from looking at garage pictures.
For sure. Absolutely.
And Harbor Freight is your friend.
Oh my gosh. Harbor Freight. We should do a video where we just go to Harbor Freight and be like,
Oh my
this could work
gosh.
for a quilt store.
This is for quilt stuff. This is
Yes.
for quilt stuff.
I can see it now. Top 10 things you need to buy at Harbor Freight for your sewing room.
Oh
That
my
is a
gosh.
video idea right now.
It needs to happen because that I had all my tools when I was in a much smaller, so, I call this a studio. I was in a sewing space, it was a
hmm
lot more.
I worked out of a
I
closet one time, like not even a 3 foot wide closet. Like
my
that was my area.
I have a little green desk over there that's about this wide. I swear it. And I worked on that. And then I had a tool chest from Harbor Freight that had all my tools in it.
hmm
And I had, when the pandemic happened, I bought all the Tula tools from
hmm
a maker that was trying to like sell off her inventory to be able to make it essentially. She wasn't a fabric seller and she wasn't doing as well. And so I bought basically all her tools. And I had these beautiful drawers that would roll out and they were
hmm
like foam covered and you'd see all my pretty oil
Yeah,
rubbed tools laying. Oh, it was so pretty. It was such
I'm
a
sure.
pleasant thing. Now it lives in the garage because when I got my sewing table, it came with an actual set of drawers that I did wallpaper in those drawers though,
Yeah.
because I don't have my pretty wallpaper in this space.
So that's our January, probably February, maybe March plans. It
Hmm
just depends on how busy our
I'm
lives get.
very
And we want it to be
extended,
realistic for
excited.
you guys too.
Yeah.
But step one, go take photos of everything. Everything. And pay attention to your angles because you want to be able to repeat it
Yeah.
and give yourself a good side by side when it's all said
hmm
and done because that's going to be really exciting. I used to write a blog for the Quad City Times when I worked there about my misadventures as a homeowner and attempting to renovate my house that had basically stood still in time from 1980 until when we bought it in
1980.
2014. Yeah,
Oh,
oh, it was bad. Like we had blue carpet in our kitchen. We had a blind dog at the time that we were renovating it
blue
and
carpet in the
blue
kitchen. Can
carpet.
you imagine? Did it have
Oh,
carpet
so
in the
gross.
bathroom?
It did not have that. It had the pink
Oh,
tile though. And so we moved the stove and the blind dog who like lived by her scent just went in the crevice between the stove and the countertop and just
I
lived there. We could not move her. She was like she would not leave that space. I was like, this is
don't blame her.
disgusting. Just so disgusting. But she was enjoying like 30 years of smells at that point, and it
Oh
was
my gosh.
disgusting. But I took all the before photos and then I
You
took
did.
all
You
the
showed
same
them to
angles,
me. And I remember
all
because
the same angles.
it's
And
funny
every
because you've had renovation on renovation
I know
at
I'm
this
on like
point.
three at this point and maybe a
She
fourth
can
at some
pull
point.
back like
Yeah.
all the way, and then she
hmm
can go to the next, and then she can be like, "This is what we did next," and it is so satisfying
It is
to
so
see.
satisfying. But every time I would update that, because it was a month-long project, and I would update this gallery shot so people could see the before and afters. Every time I would put just like two new photos on, that was like the top viewed item on the entire website was my kitchen renovation because we were doing it ourselves on like a shoestring budget. Like
It
I
was like
refinished
itty
every
bitty.
single cabinet myself. Like I would get home from work and I would strip a cabinet and then we would just do like the next steps every single night when we would get off work. You know, you do your sanding and then you do, you wait your 24 hours and you do your next step. And
Is this where
this,
you
this is
found the
obviously
cabinet
before
in the
kids.
basement?
It is, yes. I
You
should pull
found a
that up.
cabinet in the basement and then like
Let me see
pulled
if I
it
can
out
find
and
it.
had to make a new door or something
My
for
dad
it.
made the new door and he got a veneer cover for it because he couldn't find the right. It was fancy wood. It's like mahogany wood. And yeah, it was. Oh, I have to ignore my limit on Facebook. I still have not finished Brimstone, so I
Mm.
still have not turned my social media back
So
on
yeah, so Stephanie promised herself that she would finish a particular book in
because
order
I didn't want spoilers. I didn't want spoilers.
to have full access back to her socials. The problem is that she's really soaking it in. And so she's listening and reading and
I
really
am.
taking in the dialogue and all of this because
And
she's writing her own book.
I'm about to get to the spiciest scene I think I've ever written. So this is not really something I want to listen to while my children are home for 2 weeks.
Mm-mm. No, it's not
So
a car listen for sure.
no, definitely not.
Even without the kids, it's not a car listen.
I mean, yeah, you might end up in a ditch if you listen to this one. I just saw a little bit of it and I was like, "Oh God, I need a minute to
Not, nope.
myself to read this one." But
We're like, yeah, I'm 20 some chapters in on the first book there, and I can tell based on her writing that
she's
it's
good.
going to, yeah, she's very good writer, going to be good. But your kitchen
I'm finding
had,
it.
yeah, had quite the transformation for sure. Your house in general has had
Oh yeah.
quite the transformation, and it rebirths itself like a phoenix every, 8 years, it seems.
I think in 3 years, it's probably going to have the biggest one yet, where like we might have to go live somewhere else for a little while. Um,
Welcome.
I don't know
How
that
do
you're going
you
to want to
how do you
really
feel
do
about
that.
Peoria? Yeah, I mean,
Um,
for a few days I might, but
yeah,
you can stay as
like
long as you like, as long as
I'm
it's
pretty
7 days
sure,
or under.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be like blowing out the back half of my house is what's going to happen. So this was the original. You can see the blue carpet in there. And then this was number one reno um when it was all said and done. But I'm gonna find the cabinet that Chantel's talking about but this is what we're trying to replicate here is I found this cabinet in the basement. It was actually right in this corner right here. And there was a hole missing in the kitchen where this cabinet should have been, where it originally was. And my dad made a new door and we put it together and I restained and finished the whole thing. So we had, this piece of trash in the basement that nobody would ever want to now this sits next to my refrigerator and looks gorgeous and
Go
got
back to
totally
the first
refinished.
go back to the first two pictures,
The
the
first two.
the, the beginning and the before and the after, because I want people to notice how you have your before,
There's the
right?
before. Angle is the same.
It doesn't have to be exact, guys. It's
Yeah.
not an exact science, but the point is that it's
You know what?
very
I'm
clear that it's from a similar vantage point.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull it up so I can share it on the actual thing.
That's a good idea. Because
Oh,
these are well, as long as you don't accidentally, pull up
no, it's
something
fine.
and
I have weight loss photos that I'm not gonna show all of you.
those are also an example of a
Uh,
before
I
and
know,
an
right?
after.
You're not gonna see those.
Nope. Sorry guys. There are certain vantage points that, you know, are for us. And honestly, these pictures of your room might only be for you.
And that's fine. You don't have to share it live for the
We
entire
don't have
internet
to
and
see your
embarrass
dead
yourself like
centipedes,
me.
you know? We just
I I mentioned that because I have a dead centipede. Okay,
I
so
do
here's
too.
here's some good examples of before and afters. And this was probably a 10-year ago project. So this is not like this was like a digital camera, like back in the day. This is not like what you can do now on an iPhone is so much better. But, you can see very clearly the space of the room. You can see I have blue carpet. You can see I have some seafoam greenware countertops. We just have these plain flat front built-in, things. It's nothing fancy. And I have to preface this by saying I had not developed my color intuition yet. I
Hmm.
was very much immersed in HGTV, and at the time it was all about the earth tones. So I was on trend for the time.
Yes, it was
This
like
is
resale
this
value,
is
not like personal value.
yeah, like how do I live in it the way I like it? Like there's wallpaper up here. And then this is the after. And obviously this is not great lighting. I took it at night. I didn't know as much as I should have at the time. But you can see clearly that the counter or the things are in a lot better shape. This counter we lost and put a thing in or a
The
dishwasher in.
curtains changed, for
I made the
example.
curtains. We have new, countertops. You can see the flooring is different. It's clean because I didn't have children. Always
That's
important.
always the goal. I mean, when you get an after photo,
Yeah. But like, look at
sometimes
this.
it might
Like,
never
you
look
have this
quite like that again.
and after. I mean, you can
You were
tell
going
that a
into a
lot of work
Tuscan
happened to
phase.
that. I did definitely. And so then we have this giant built-in cabinet and you can see it's a mess. Like there's a hole in the wall. And then we have after and hot mess after.
So this is what
Kitchen.
we
Yeah.
essentially want you to build your own portfolio. It
Yes.
doesn't have to be for anybody. We're not asking you to post this or anything. If
No,
you would
no.
like to post it to your
Absolutely.
medias, you're welcome to.
And you
You
should
know,
tag us. We would love to see it.
we
But
would
like,
absolutely love to see it. But we also know that sometimes we want to show this and we don't want to show that.
well, and mostly like here's kind of a way you can think about it too. You want your big wide shot for sure.
Yes.
And then you're going to want to zero in on your area. So like this is
Kind of
a
the
big,
personal areas. Think of
yeah,
your cutting area, for
like this would be
example.
the equivalent of your cutting area. So we get your before and after. We have a particularly hot mess area that's drawing the eye.
A
So we want to see
detail
a
of
before
some
and after.
sort.
Yep. And then,
Maybe
okay,
a
kitchen
project
sink.
you've done.
Yeah. So like for me, this could be my long arm area, which is so bad right now. And we're not even going to talk about all the crap that's under the long arm. And then we have our after. And the angle's slightly different, but you can see it changed dramatically and looks a heck of a lot
It's
better.
it's not like when people take photos of themselves. We were just
Yeah.
talking about personal photos and they're like taking it in an awkward mode and then they're like, "Oh, see?
No, we're seeing it all.
We're
Like,
we're we're just taking a photo
so
and then when we're done, we're taking a photo."
here we have beat up kitchen sink, brand new stainless steel. So it just kind of gives
This
you
is a
your
great example,
ideas.
Steph.
Yeah. Good example. Like here's a detail. This is the shape the cabinets were in before. This is what it looked like after we finished it, and we added some trim on it to make it look a little bit more modern. So this is like just good detail options. This was, oh my God, I forgot about this giant hood that was ridiculous. And we
You got some
actually
things going on there.
I had so much happening here. It was a mess. And, here's the after. You can see the flooring changed too at that point.
Hmm.
Um, you know, that went away and
We're
became
also not
functional.
talking about the changes being obscene and brand new and over the top and necessarily expensive. Like, we're
No,
not even asking you to necessarily renovate anything, but if this is the time to do it, I mean,
yeah.
please take before pictures.
Well,
If not for anybody else, do it for yourself.
I refinished all these cabinets for like $500 because I did all the work myself. But like this was like the biggest dramatic transformation, right? Because we have like this hideous
Hmm.
thing, and then this is where the cabinet ultimately ended up. That they had taken it out of there at some point, and so we had this gross kitchen cart there that was ugly and didn't look
It looks
good.
very like
It looks
nursing
like
home
I'm
esque.
it looks like I'm renting this place, not that I own it. And then there's your after. So
Yes.
this is the type of drama that you can create. And I didn't buy anything new for this. I just reused what I had in a better way.
Hmm.
And, back door looks better. looks dramatically different. So, if you get super inspired and you want to do a ton of stuff, cool, awesome. But mostly we want to
We're mostly
just,
just trying to get our crap off the floor and get our surfaces usable
yeah,
again so we can feel inspired.
and hopefully get you guys a little inspired too and coming up with a few things. But that gives you some ideas on how you can
Yeah.
take your before pictures with your after photos in mind, so that if you do want to share later and people are like, look at what I did, it looks totally awesome. Like that's that gets you some social cred on the Instagram, let me tell you.
Sometimes the before pictures are painful when you take them, but when you get the cred of like how awesome it looks after, you're a little more willing to show those before pictures.
For sure, for sure.
And if it's not for anybody else, do it for yourself just to see where you were. Or
And
like I like to
honestly,
take pictures just to see what I'm not noticing when I look at the space. Like, why isn't it looking right? I take a picture, and sometimes things will stand out to me in a picture that are not standing out to me just in real life.
I will tell you, as somebody who has built a following on YouTube as well, that if that's something you're trying to do, this humanizes you. That like they're not
Hmm.
always perfect all the time. They have a messy sewing room too. And if they can do it, then so can I.
And that
And
is what this is all about. We
yeah,
come on here weekly and we're like, hey, humans, we're human. Like,
we are.
welcome to our mom life.
Yeah. You want to know how my mom life started this morning?
Hmm.
My child made it this close to the toilet. This
Oh,
close. So I had to mop the floor. And then my husband gets home from work and goes, "Did you not deal with this today?" At some point, somebody else peed on the toilet, probably the dog. But like,
probably
so
the
that,
dog. The
so I
dog
had
tried
two,
really hard at him.
I, I had two peas to clean up today. And I'm like, when are you going back to school? Like, when does this happen?
And do you do this at school?
They don't. It's more like they get into it and then they're like, I don't want to stop. And they just make a run for it.
Says
And
the
she didn't
woman who
quite make it.
has a 4-year-old that will not potty train at home, but is fully potty trained at preschool. I don't know how to fix that.
I I don't know
There,
either.
I don't know.
I
I
was
can't fix it. I'm trying and I'm realizing it's probably, well, like any problem with your children, it's more of a me problem than a them problem, right? It's a consistency and dealing with the stubbornness. But
oh
hmm,
we have a question. I need shelves that will hold heavy canned goods because I'm gonna do my own canning. I do my own canning, and that lives in the unfinished section of my basement because you really want a kind of quiet, dark area for that because the
mhm.
food stays better longer that way. But I just go get wire shelving
Yes,
from,
I use wire shelving in the back of my
Home
basement
Depot,
too.
and that'll hold your canning.
They have these clips essentially on posts
Yes.
and the shelves come down onto those clips and you can adjust what it is
Yeah.
that you want. And then mine were from Costco this time, I believe. And they
Costco
actually
has them,
came,
Lowe's has them, Home Depot has
they're
them.
all over the place,
Yeah.
but they kind of have a little wiggly
Yeah.
like metal thing on the front and they have shelves or whatever. But my ones from Costco actually came with plastic liners that cover the
Yeah.
wire
I have one like
so
that.
you don't have the tippy can problem.
Honestly, I don't have that problem and I don't even have mine. But what I do is I save the canning boxes. And
Mm,
so then I just put them in there and I keep that
okay.
with it. The other thing that is really awesome is you go get because you're not supposed to store it with the bands on because then you could have a false seal and not know it and give yourself botulism, which is deadly. Don't want to do that. But what you do is you go get a bungee cord and you put the first bungee, you wrap it around your first band, and then you put all the bands on top of it and you just put it on. I'm gonna go grab it because I feel like I'm not
I
describing
have
this well.
no idea what you were talking about.
I
Now,
will be
I
right
am
back.
not a canner personally, but let's see, what did it say? Let's see. I have one of those for my laundry space, but I need narrower ones. I was able to find narrower ones. They were not cheaper because they are more like kind of rare to find. I think it was at Target I found the more
This
narrow one.
shows you how big into canning I am. I know. Chantel's like, Stephanie, you have jumped the shark. So you wrap the one end around your cans, and then you just put them on there.
And
And
then
then
you go
this,
to the local weddings and put it on the back of people's bumpers
I
and
mean, that might screw up the car a little, but then this guy just hangs on the side of your shelf, and you're good to go.
oh my
And then,
goodness.
yep, this is Stephanie's solution. My canning is incredibly organized.
She
It
says
might be
that
very old, but
she needs
it
the
was organized.
narrower one. They do make narrower shelves. They are not always as tall though because they have a tipping hazard. But I was able to find some narrower ones that at least had 3 to 4 shelves. I believe it was at Target. But mine are pretty deep, and I have to admit I don't love how deep they are. They're good for like big bins, like if you're storing holiday stuff or whatever, but they're not good for fabric, which is mostly what I'm storing that needs to be, yay deep. Um,
Yeah.
I
You
will
can
say
also make your own wood ones, but then that would be really hard to like move somewhere else.
I've had really good luck with these. These are from Crate and Barrel. It's a bougie alternative. You're gonna pay $300-400 for them, but they are strong. They are made for actual textbooks and books to be all the way across them. Um, I'll have to dig into seeing if I could find some other options for you that are good for um oh, I plan to place them in my foyer, only space available, and hang quilts over them.
Yeah,
Cool.
I mean that would be a solution because the biggest thing when you do your own canning is you want it to be not have a lot of light because the light can damage the nutrients in the food.
Hmm.
So then you're not really getting everything that,
Almost curtain them in
yeah,
a certain way.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I've lived in so many houses that haven't had a basement space and things like that. I've lived in a lot of apartments and a lot of actual like high rises and things
Hmm.
like that. And you will come up with creative way. I had things in my bathroom that I can't admit I would want to have in my bathroom because you just didn't have space.
Someday, like my ideal house, I think probably what will happen because
Hmm.
I now work in an industry where we help seniors find senior living solutions.
Hmm.
And so I know what it costs, even for basic level services.
Hmm.
And for my husband and I both to be in care at the lowest level in today's dollars, you're probably looking at about eight to $10,000 a month for two people. And
And
that's a
don't
lot of
half
money.
that for one person because that's not how that works either.
I don't know that it is. I do think that there are second person discounts. Um, but in terms of the actual care that's provided, like that's all a la carte mostly.
It's
So
like a cruise.
yeah, basically. So it's like, this is not something that, the houses that are in my neighborhood, this is not like you can sell it and then, live out your days comfortably at one of these places. My house is never going to be that. So what I would like to do is make sure that my house is everything is on one floor. So that
Hmm.
way I can get as many years out of this house as I can before I have to move. Because the biggest reason people have to move is they need to go downstairs for laundry or they need to go upstairs for a bedroom and stairs become a problem.
Or they're oversized because they had other people living with them
Yeah.
and now they need to
Now they can't
downsize.
maintain. Yeah. So what I
That
would
would be
like to
my
do,
case.
I've got a ranch, but like everything, like all the laundry's downstairs. Um, so that would be a problem for us. So what I would love to do, and this would be like my dream space someday, is just to make an L because I have a giant backyard and extend my dining room and my mud room to where I've got a beautiful, like office slash library slash music listening room that opens into a master bathroom, and then first floor laundry, where currently like we enter through the garage. Because then everything will be in one space, on one level, it'll be
Hmm.
fine. But at that point, I want to like make sure that whatever it is that we get the loan for to do the addition, we include like having custom carpentry come in to have an entire wall of like built-in shelves that
Yeah.
are tall enough, because this is the biggest problem I find where I can't display my sewing machines, is that they're like 1 inch too short to put
Yes.
the sewing machine on. And I need it just like 2 inches taller so I
These are
can put the
great.
sewing machine on it.
They cannot hold records. They
Yeah,
are this much too short, and these
I
are
know.
fantastic. And they are by they are by CB2. They're a Crate and Barrel company.
Hmm.
These are ideal for comic book boards, but they are this much too short for records.
Yeah.
And it's that for a sewing machine too. I have a sewing machine. It's just that little
Yeah.
bit.
I've found that time and again that I cannot put my sewing machine on because it's either too flimsy of a shelf
Yes.
or it is just 2 inches too short to display the sewing machines. So I definitely want to do that someday where like you bring in and you have all the painted wood and like the sewing
Hmm.
machines are on display and I've got like a record area and I have all my books because the books are getting out of control now. I've realized I used to buy, I think I texted you this, I used to buy and sneak into my house pretty fabric. Now I'm doing that with books.
Yeah, books. Yeah. Well, I don't know what my problem is now. I feel like I rotate my problems.
I
But
do too. We tend to
these
rotate them
shelves, yes,
together.
we do. It was dolls for a
It
while, and
was.
these shelves are great. They were my solution to my custom shelving upstairs. So when we moved into this house, it was very builder's grade, but like a little above builder's grade, but
Hmm.
still a large, comfortable house. It needed a lot of painting and things like that to really make it something. But I bought these in black and put them up on a black wall,
And
and
they're
all my
gorgeous.
books look like they're floating. And it was like my, under $1,500 solution to custom shelving,
Yeah.
because to have all that millwork put in and then find out that maybe that's not how I want to use the space
Yeah.
or whatever just wasn't just wasn't in the budget. I mean, I guess I could have made it in the budget, but it turned out awesome.
There are apparently you can get at big box stores now doors that look like secret bookshelves. This is now like a normal thing that you can just go buy at a
You can
big
just
box
go buy
store.
one.
Yeah, apparently. And then like you open it and there's like a secret room behind there. So like I want this to be my bedroom. Like I go back there and there's Stephanie's bedroom.
My mind is blown. I'm thinking
I
of all
know.
the places I need to put one of those.
I know. I mean, it's like,
Those shelves are probably flimsy. Like she was just saying that, a lot of the shelving is flimsy, and I have to agree. Bookshelves are no longer made for books.
it's just ridiculous. Like books are heavy. Like I
Look
have
at a
all of
kitchen
these.
and
Like
there
all of
are
these
places,
I
yes.
bought and there is metal rods underneath every single one of these because they used to hold fabric bolts.
Hmm.
And
Look
so
at
that's what my bookshelves are.
like kitchen warehouse type places that sell kitchen like for restaurants,
Yeah.
like restaurant wares and things like that. And so they're selling corporate style industrial level like shelving and things like that. And actually you can get them at a decent price. Like my cutting
It's
table
not that extra much
was
extra.
maybe 400, $500. But that thing is not moving.
I
And
feel
it
like I
has,
spent something like that too. And what we bought was an actual like work table, like for
yeah, it's
like a
essentially a work
warehouse.
table with a laminate top. And what I liked about this table versus other tables is that it didn't need the brace on the bottom because it was so
Hmm.
sturdy. So I've been able to fit rolling carts underneath it. And I got those
Yeah.
carts at CB2. They're good looking, but are they not
We
going
should
to
we
wiggle?
should have a
Mm.
whole moment about the rolling cart because that is such an awesome thing to have in the sewing room. I have
Oh, the
one that
rolling
just
cart.
lives under my long arm, just lives there. And it has
Do they
all
roll
my,
often? No. but when you need them to roll, they are awesome.
Exactly. Absolutely.
My long arm has like this low bar, so I can't pull anything out from under my long arm. I'd really love to find some good storage solutions
We
for
need to
bins.
find that out because I would love to have one too that has covered drawers because it gets really dusty under there. Because it's such a large space. I would love to have something that I could put under there. But I don't even know, like a kitchen cabinet is too high. You could put upper cabinets underneath there probably.
But they wouldn't be deep enough.
I don't even care. I just want to put some extra project bins down there or something.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel like that's one of the things that I look up often. I'm still a Pinterester
Yeah.
and I like to look that kind of thing up and I see solutions that people have used, but it will not work for my style of long arm
hmm
that has the low bar.
I think I looked at like Calyx too at
Yes.
IKEA, and I think that's like an inch or two too tall.
Hmm.
It's just like we need like a whole line of storage solutions that's meant for quilters.
But also isn't charged for quilters.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
a lot of the things that get specialized, there has to be something at Harbor Freight. Like every time that there is something that we cannot find, and we're like, we need a specialized equipment for that. I feel like Harbor Freight has it
But in white,
in white. They're doing
in
better
white for
about that.
Stephanie.
In white for anybody. I mean, I I love the look of something white. But then in the garage, I can imagine that not going very
The
well.
well, yeah, not there. But the reason why I like white or clear is because you then do not have to have the same brand of everything in order to make it look cohesive. And,
Exactly.
white is not, there are many different shades of white. I'm not
Exactly.
gonna lie about that. Like, I chose to not get annoyed that the white of my vanity did not match the white of my medicine cabinet. And I was like, Stephanie, you are gonna let that go. But
She
like,
didn't, obviously, but she's
I think
trying.
about it. I don't think about it on a daily basis, but like when we have a conversation like this is something that is going to be
I know what you
forefront in my
mean.
brain. But, I look around this, my desk is a different white than my shelves, which is a different white than my cutting area, which is a different white than my long arm, but it's all looks, when you look at it as a whole, looks like a cohesive thing, which is why I like it. You're not
The
dealing with mismatched wood tones and all that.
Yes, there like I have a couple wood pieces in my room, but they are a mid-century acorn wood color and they look fantastic against the white, but they were chosen particularly to be a counterbalance to the
hmm
amount of white things. So in my design in my house, I tend to paint everything. This is a white technically, but it's called On the Rocks and it comes off as a very light gray, but it's just gray enough to make white look really white.
hmm
You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and then I add in layers of color. So like I just bought a new sofa cover for my IKEA sofa and Penny helped me pick it out and I can't deny that she talked me into pink.
I mean, were you that hard to talk into pink? I didn't think so.
No, no, not at all. But it is a bold choice to choose, pink as your sofa cover. Thank God it's a cover, right?
It's a cover.
But I can let these colors sing on a background where everything is white and gray and
Dude,
black. I use a lot of black.
someday when I have my custom library office,
Hmm.
whatever, it is going to be like a lagoon teal,
Oh yeah, I can see it.
like everything. And then I want like a
Like
velvet.
moody midnight lagoon
Yeah.
teal.
Like I
Yeah.
want like some velvet accent sofa to go
Mm.
like right in the middle that no dog or child is ever going to be allowed to sit on until
It's
they reach a
yours.
certain age. Yes, it is just
My
going
mom
to be
had a pink
gorgeous.
sofa that had over 100 tufts on it. It was a French sofa and it was pink. And I couldn't sit on the sofa like a normal kid could. We didn't even have a TV in the house other than my black and white TV in my room. Okay. My mom let me have a TV because somebody gave us a TV and it was black and white.
I would be
Talk about
fine
no
without a
screens
television. I would be
at
fine.
this point in your life. But, as a
Yes.
kid, it's like, oh my gosh, like I have a black and white television, but I wasn't allowed to sit on the sofa unless I had had a bath and was in clean pajamas and my hair was not sopping wet. I had to be somewhere in between clean and dry.
Oh, goodness.
And the memories are definitely there.
I'm
So,
sure.
yeah,
I
I
hate
understand
the
what you
color of
want for
my
your sofa.
I hate the coloring of my flooring. At some point, I need totally new flooring whenever that happens.
I have moments with what I chose for my first house that my in-laws live in.
Hmm.
I chose some flooring for that, and even I have moments where I'm like, shouldn't have chose that one.
I chose this red tinted bamboo that we put in it ourselves, and it shifted more than it was supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can see gaps that aren't
I'm
supposed to be
having
there.
shifting in my vinyl
Yeah,
plank, which you're not supposed to have, but
yeah. So there will be time. I literally in like 3 years, I'm just gonna price out the whole damn thing. And like literally, I
do
want
it.
to take the whole back half off the house except the bedrooms, bump it out, get myself an island and all new kitchen cabinetry, and my office and a bedroom and first floor laundry. And even if it costs $200,000 to do, which I have no idea, I'm shooting in the
Yeah,
dark with
I
that
will.
number. That's 2 years of assisted living for my husband and I. 2 years. So
God, isn't that painful? And it's
let's put
just,
it on a mortgage instead and call it a day.
oh,
Like,
it is alarming. John and I are looking at our retirement funds, things like that, and he's telling me, yeah, oh, we have X amount, and I'm like, is that good? Is that like good enough? Like, is that going to do the things we need to do? Oh yeah, oh yeah, and I'm like, okay, I'll trust you on that. But it was like, is my lifestyle going to be significantly different? Like, it might.
this is what you talk to a financial advisor about, and they are the ones who say, yes, this is how much you have, or no, this is
Yes, I
you need to
know, but
add a little more.
John does that part for it. And
Yeah.
it's just
You have
funny
to
because
think though, at that point in your life, ideally, you're only paying your taxes and insurance on your house,
exactly.
and you're done with your student loans, and you're done paying for your children all the time. And so hopefully
Yeah, I would have
your expenses are
pretty good
less.
income if I was at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
And
Hopefully.
instead we're living the millennial lifestyle,
Yeah.
paying
We
off the
talk about this all
lifestyle
the
we were
time.
going to pay for, years ago. We were told that we would have the money to pay for.
Hey, I did pay off my student loans.
For real?
Yeah, for real, like a
Like,
year or two ago.
yo, that's right. I remember
Yeah, it
now.
was a very exciting day.
My sister-in-law just paid hers off, so that was a big deal. I mean, these are the kind of things that people have parties for if they can afford the party
I know,
after
right?
paying off, we paid off a car. That was really exciting.
My husband and I were having a conversation, or Chantel and I were having a conversation about when my husband and I were getting married, we were both poor journalists. You make nothing as a journalist. They basically treat it as a
That's true.
vocation. I think we made not even $60,000 between the two of us gross pre-tax
Combined.
when we got married. And
And that was not enough even back then.
I mean, for the
It got
lifestyle
us
we were living, it was
by
fine. But,
not having a child and things like
not
that.
having a child, that was the big thing. And we found like the best deal on the house ever known to man. And so that's what made it work. But my dad sat my husband down. We were getting married, and he's like, at some point you got to be able to make $100,000. That's what you need to be able to do it. And like, that's not enough anymore. And it's
It's
insane. It is
not.
absolutely insane. Like I've been married 16 years, and that advice is totally defunct.
It
Like,
is, it might be in certain situations,
yeah,
but with multiple children and school costs, and we're still paying off our own school costs
yeah.
and everything, in the
And
possibility of having to pay
groceries,
for insurance
yeah,
and
the groceries are so huge right now.
utilities, and there's more utilities than there used to be because we have things like phone and internet that we have to pay for. Have to. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
it's
I
not
pay a
optional.
lot less, I think, for cable because I just get the streaming services I want as opposed to the
Us
huge
too.
package.
We
But
pay for YouTube TV for 6 months of the year for the football games
oh
to
yeah,
make sure that we get everything that we need for that.
we do
And
that too.
then,
Well, not
and then
YouTube, but we have like Sling TV or something.
whatever it is, we pay YouTube TV and I get my holiday videos, my holiday movies for Hallmark,
Yeah,
and then as soon as the Bears don't make the playoffs, we cancel it. But this year they're going to make the playoffs, so
there you go.
very, very excited about that. How's your husband doing about that?
He's pretty excited about it. The whole family is very excited about it. My family lives near
But not
Chicago.
optimistic, I'm sure.
I don't know. I think he
Like excited, but not optimistic seems to be the
like it
running
doesn't feel like was it 2005 that they actually went to the Super Bowl?
7.
Seven. It doesn't. Oh yeah, because I was a senior in college. It doesn't feel like that at all.
I disagree.
Really.
It feels we are a better playing team than we were then. We had really good luck back
We
then.
had Devin Hester who made
We
his
had
own luck.
Devin Hester. See, you can speak football. You're
I can
fine.
speak a little bit of football,
Just a touch.
teeny
Just
amount
a
of
touch.
football.
That's not what this is about. I don't think we've ever ended up on a segue of football. What are we doing with our lives?
You know what? Okay, I can turn this into quote related now.
All right, go
So
for it.
my husband, I made him an Illini quilt when we
Yes.
were engaged, and this was we did not live together until we got married, and so I would like be packing this away so that he was not aware that I was making this for him, and it was the first large quilt I ever made. It was the first quilt I ever designed. It was I cut every single tiny square and sewed every single tiny square together, and I could
Oh
have
my
chain
gosh.
pieced that sucker, and I didn't know what a quarter inch seam was, and I didn't know what a walking foot was, and I quilted
Luckily,
that
there was no
entire thing.
triangles.
There are no triangles. I quilted that entire thing, queen size with a flannel back, on my Singer sewing machine with no walking foot because I didn't know what the foot was, and I thought it looked weird. And he has
It
used that
does look
quilt.
weird.
It does look weird. He has used that quilt every single day since I gave it to him the Christmas we were engaged, which is like 17 years ago. And it is now at the point where all the white squares, I must have bought cheap fabric for the white squares, have literally disintegrated. So you can see the batting in all the areas where there was just a plain white square.
You're gonna have to
Well,
make a redemption quilt.
I said, I think I should make you a new one. And he's like, I don't want a new one. I want you to fix this one. I'm like, I can't fix that one. How you would fix it is you would put tulle on it and then you would put away and not do anything with it. He's like, well, I don't want to do that. And so like we're literally having this conversation last night where it's like the pair of broken
It's
in
his
jeans.
lovey.
It is basically like he's
It's his
snuggling that
little lovey rabbit that he's just gotta love. And
I don't do any of you guys do this. We have his and hers quilts because we have a king size bed and we have three dogs that sleep like down the center.
oh my
And
God, yeah.
so there is not a big enough quilt to cover the two of us and have the dogs down the center. So we
Like it
each have our
sorta
separate
does.
quilt. We each have a separate quilt that we sleep with. And I rotate mine out. He always has this one. But he just
And
he's
his duck.
like chicken.
Oh, my bad. Poultry type
Oh,
item.
I should tell the story of the chicken too. So I don't know why I was at the hardware store with the kids, and there was this giant, like almost 3 foot tall chicken stuffy, and one child wanted it, and then the other child threw a fit, and then we ended up with two of these with the second trip, and my husband is so pissed. Like,
Because you have these
like,
giant, it's not a big house. You have these
like
giant chickens now.
giant chickens that come in and the kids share a bedroom and they have bunk beds. It's like, it's not
Not
an ideal
ideal.
thing to bring in a stuffy this big. What does my husband do? He steals one of the kids' chickens and snuggles with it every single because he
Because
uses it
his
as like a
chicken is
body pillow.
lanky.
He uses it as a body. He would die if he knew I was saying this on the internet.
It's like
He
we're hours in. It's fine.
he uses it as a body pillow. And one time, like I didn't realize he was doing this, and I happened to turn on the light, and he's there just snuggle with the chicken, and I just like
Spooning with the chicken.
die. I die laughing because it's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
The love of the
This
chicken.
my grown husband snuggling
I
with this
feel it
giant
though. I
chicken
mean,
that he threw a fit about when I brought it into the house.
it's the best chicken. Well, I mean, what kind of, it's such, I don't know, it's very vindicating to like decide to embrace the item that he was going to hate. Like,
It's like when the dog that you didn't want, but then is your favorite.
yeah, got one of those. Actually, I was game for Cubby. We didn't have a gray dog, and I thought that would be cool to have a gray dog too. And so now I have Cubby.
Round out the color story. I used to
Yeah,
do that
no,
with Cocker Spaniels. I was
I
like,
see
we haven't
it.
had this
Then
color yet.
we don't have this color. So I mean, we had a black dog. We had like a blonde dog, if you sand or whatever. We had kind of a red brown dog. We didn't have a gray dog, so it seemed like a really good idea, you know. Free poodle, sure. It's insane, absolutely. We'll take it.
I've
Who's your
had the
favorite?
black Cocker Spaniel. I've had the red Cocker Spaniel. I've had the party Cocker Spaniel where it's white with the light and the party where it's white with the black. We call them love puppies
Are
because
parties just two
yes,
colors or three colors?
generally, Remy has a little bit of like, oh, we should bring him up. Come here,
I
Remy.
guess, I guess,
Come say hello.
I
Hey,
think
I
Cubby's a
want you
party
all to
poodle.
know that all of you guys who bought books from us, you saved Remy's life.
It's true.
It is because Remy got cancer in his mouth, and it
Too much
was,
tobacco use. I'm kidding.
unfortunately, that's not what happened.
I'm kidding.
But he had to have a portion of his jaw removed to
He
remove
looks
the.
great.
I know you can't even tell. He just got a haircut, so he's looking very nice.
He's like,
But
hi, mom.
I want to tell you all, anybody who bought the Panel Quote Workshop, those book sales are what paid for Remy's surgery and saved his life because he's only 9 and I've had Cocker Spaniels live most of them to like 12 to 15, so he's got a lot of good years left for him. And those book sales, they saved Remy. So thank you so much to everyone who bought a book because he is in my lap right now because of you guys. But he has, you can see, I brought him up here.
He's
He's
got
got
some eyebrows.
a little bit of his brown eyebrows and a little bit of brown in his mouth, but mostly he's black and white. And
That's so cute.
he has a Grinch beard when he had his collar on. It like dyed his hair somehow. So he's green underneath here. You look tired, bud. Are you sleepy? I woke him up. He was
Aw.
sleeping on my shark
Look at
blanket.
look at him look at you like, Mom.
What are we doing? How's Cubby, by the way?
He's doing great. So my dog, Cubby, is a very special dog to me. He was a rehome from a family that had a small yard and they really couldn't manage his energy. And so we took him in, and after a few days, he really calmed down because he was getting the exercise he needed. But he had a history of eating cloth items and getting bowel obstruction. So we've had him for 3 years. He had already had a bowel obstruction before we got him and had surgery. So he was less likely to have a bowel obstruction again because they do their best to make sure that, you know, everything's kind of situated. But he had eaten, we think it was the outer covering of a tennis ball, a red
Ah,
tennis ball. And so very fibrous and like not able to be digested. And it gave him a bowel blockage the day before Thanksgiving. So he had to have a surgery. And so he came home and he was doing fine for a day or two. And then unfortunately, he took a big turn for the worse and had to go to the emergency vet because nothing was open because there was a snowstorm, like really bad timing. So we
this was
spent,
when we were supposed to be doing Cookie Palooza and
yeah,
our
this was
lives
supposed
just
to
blew
be,
up instead.
we had, we had some other kind of palooza and poor little Cubby, he had to stay in the vet office until like Monday evening or whatever. We had to buy him a separate crate. He had to wear the cone of shame and all this stuff. You wouldn't know anything happened to him. He was trying to eat a plush mouse today. We got
Oh
rid of
gosh.
all of his plush stuff. And so we found that we have to feed him twice a day. Otherwise, he goes for soft things and tries to eat them. But he has rubber toys now. So he has a lot of toys to be
Oh,
able to
that's
use.
good.
And he has murdered quite a few of them already because that's
Remy was trying to murder a toy earlier today, so he was going
that is
nuts.
his tendency. But we have a lot less stuffing to put in my bread pillow because I have this
Yeah,
bread pillow that
I've seen it.
I'm
It gets bigger
diabetic.
every time I see her.
Yes, I'm diabetic, and so when I had my daughter Penelope, we got me this bread pillow. It was my pregnancy pillow, but it's a big loaf of bread. And it was really underfilled. And every time the dog killed a stuffed animal, we took all the stuffing and just put it in this pillow. So this pillow is just for
It's
years been
gotten
getting
bigger
bigger and
constantly.
bigger. And now we're not filling it up anymore. It's apparently it's done because we're not buying stuffed toys for our dog anymore because he ate a $6,000 stuffed toy basically.
Oh, Cubby. You gotta
Yeah,
love them.
free
You gotta
dogs
love
are
them.
not free.
No, they're definitely not. I mean, Remy was a free dog.
Yeah, free. Free dogs are not free.
I mean, not really. Remy was he was my grandma's dog, and when she was sick, I let her know that if she needed me to take him,
Yeah.
I would. And she did not realize that I meant like forever. And so when I let her know that that was it, she was just it
And
was a
she
very
let her,
it was a
yeah.
very big moment for her. And that honestly was like she knew someone was going to have to take care of my grandpa, but nobody was stepping up for the dog. So like that was like a very good moment for her, and it made her feel like I can
Very
let go now
comfortable. Right.
because Remy will be taken care of and he'll have a home for life. And he
Yeah,
is my shadow. He
my
is
dog,
wherever I am, he is.
yes, he really is. And my dad has a very energetic dog right now. He bought or not bought, he adopted a husky
Hmm.
mix that has a lot of energy and is very playful, even though he's probably about 2 years old, named King. And I imagine if anything goes down with that, I'm going to end up with a husky
This
on
is
top of
exactly
everything
what
else.
happened. My
Yes,
grandparents adopted Remy when he was a year old, and they were already in their 80s. And I looked at my husband and I said, "Well, we're gonna have
this is
Remy
it.
someday," and we did.
And that's it.
So,
We do what we have to do. I
yep,
mean, dog lover once, a dog lover always. So,
for sure.
girl, I'm getting tired. It is
Me too.
time to
I
go to
think we should
bed.
do it. We ended on a nice little heartfelt thing. It was all good.
Oh,
We did. And we talked
we
quilting
should
for the
make a
majority of
short
today.
about the dog thing. I bet
I
you
was
that would
thinking
go like
that.
viral because everybody'd be like, "You bought my book and my dog was saved."
Yeah, you saved my dog's life. Thank you so much. But
Nobody saved my. No, it's fine. I don't have a book to sell, so
it's okay.
I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you all, and we will see you next week. Go take those photos of your
Yes.
trash sewing room. Don't pick up a thing first. Just go take
And
the pictures, and we will see you next week to start doing something about it.
and if your room is already clean, just put something on the counter so that we believe you. No, I'm
Look,
just kidding.
who really has a clean sewing room? Somebody who
Or
doesn't use it.
space. There's a lot
Yeah,
of people that just pull out what they need when they need it,
that's
and
true.
that's super cool. But I did
All
it for
right.
years too.